For our project, we'll be examining note-taking practices on post-secondary students. Our problem statement is, students have difficulty developing stable note-taking practices that can be applied to a broad variety of learning situations. For this project, we'd like to understand how students develop their note-taking practices, what their current practices are, and if and how their current practices have changed.
To better understand our problem area, we conducted 15-minute semi-structured interviews. Our research questions were, what current practices, motivational systems, and obstacles exist for post-secondary students' note-taking practices, and what factors influence the development of these practices? We recruited 20 post-secondary students and asked them how they took their notes and their thoughts about developing note-taking habits. From our study, we found 6 themes. Firstly and secondly, many believe note-taking was beneficial but time-consuming. Thirdly, students' habits remain the same despite changes in the learning environment. Fourthly, in theory-heavy courses like psychology, students took notes word for word, while in applied courses like math, they took summarized notes. Fifthly, students often took notes handwritten, typed, or both. And lastly, note-taking practices took time to form, with many trial and error before settling on one.
For Study 2, we conducted a week-long diary study to further examine one of the themes from Study 1. While we discovered that course material influenced note-taking practices, we wanted to understand further how the types of course material influence the practices. We recruited 7 post-secondary students and asked them questions like their comprehension of the lecture and the type of supporting materials that were provided, etc.
As a group, even when participants didn't take notes, they still rated lecture comprehension highly and rated quality of supporting course materials highly. This suggests that high-quality supporting materials may affect students' decisions to take notes, but that might not be a negative effect since they still believe they comprehended the lecture well. They also discovered that they were less likely to take notes when the lecture changed formats or when the lectures required active participation. Finally, they were less likely to take notes when their supporting materials were PowerPoint slides.
Here are our design guidelines based on our research. First, support different note-taking modalities, especially handwritten and typed method. Second, allow for annotation on different document formats directly, like PowerPoint and PDFs. Third, systems should be simple and support the personalization of the note-taking process. Fourth, support existing note-taking habits and the discovery of new ones. Fifth, support for different types of notation languages and formats. Sixth, support real-time collaboration in note-taking and sharing of notes. Lastly, allow for easy retrieval of notes and their content.
In conclusion, from our 2 studies, we collected valuable research data that will inform product design guidelines to better support note-taking. Thank you for listening.